Ferrari might have used a very interesting aerodynamic trick on the SF-26. A slot has been spotted in the bodywork immediately behind the driver's head. What could it be? Some are suggesting it's an S-duct, and what's been discovered is incredible. But before discovering exactly what this S-duct is, how it works, and why Ferrari implemented it, stay with me until the end. Because what you're about to hear is fascinating. So what exactly is an S-duct? In practice, it's an S-shaped air duct that in the SF-26's case would start from the radiator inlet area and then finish exactly with that slot we saw. The name derives directly from the S shape that the airflow follows inside the structure. Thanks to a particular photo released on their social media today featuring Charles Leclerc, we've been given a unique insight into this very secret S-duct that could be on the car for this 2026 season. If you look at this photo of Charles, you'll notice it's a very zoomed-in angle of the SF-26's side. We get a good look at the halo, the engine cover, the side pod, and some of this new bargeboard section of these 2026 cars. Now, if you notice on the side of the driver panel where they rest, there's an outlet, an opening, essentially an exit point. It's my belief that this is Ferrari housing an S-duct on their SF-26. Now, where's the entry point in this photo? Well, if we brighten this photo and take a look at the vane in front of the Ferrari's side, it merges into the side pod, which could in turn be a cooling inlet or is connected to the vent mounted behind the cockpit. Under a Formula One nose, very turbulent air is created due to impact with the asphalt and front elements. This disturbed air can worsen the aerodynamic efficiency of the entire car. The S-duct intervenes precisely here. In practice, it sucks in part of this dirty air, reducing turbulence in the lower nose area. At the same time, the air that's expelled above the nose is cleaner and more orderly, improving the flow directed toward the car's floor, the underbody, and central aerodynamic elements. It's important to clarify this. The S-duct doesn't generate direct aerodynamic load. Its advantage is indirect, meaning it allows the rest of the aerodynamics to work in better conditions, increasing the car's overall efficiency. This is why it's a complex, expensive solution not always adopted, but typical of the most evolved cars from an aerodynamic standpoint. Essentially, as airflow travels through the front wing, along the Ferrari car's nose and along that side, it will hit this inlet that's behind the vanes where the inlet is for the side pod. The air will travel through this inlet up into the side pod in a specific area through tubes, which is obviously the S-duct, and then exits at the IBM logo where the outlet is positioned. What it does is twofold. It cleans the airflow not only on the lower side of the side pod, but also increases the channel of air velocity on the upper part of the side pod, as it's then directed all the way back through the SF-26 toward the diffuser area of the car, therefore improving downforce in this region, which is of great importance as all teams are looking to recover the downforce they lost from 2025 in the ground effect era into this new era in 2026. It's a very well-known and utilized piece of technology that's been in Formula One for decades now, and we've seen it being used across the field through multiple seasons on various cars through the years. It was first introduced, if I'm not mistaken, in 2012 on the McLaren car, and then a whole bunch of cars and rivals of that team jumped on the bandwagon and introduced it on their car. But if it's not that, there's a secondary reason behind why this would be on the SF-26, and that would be purely for cooling purposes of the machine itself. And again, it has a benefit no matter which way you choose to look at it. We won't know what the overall design is used for. But anyway, it has its benefit whether it's the S-duct or whether it's just used for a cooling option on the car. If Ferrari really has implemented this aerodynamic solution, then it means we must expect important aerodynamic developments, and that Ferrari has very clear ideas about where and how to act to find performance. Aerodynamics, after all, is the only aspect that can be developed because engines are now frozen. Now, what do we actually know about how Ferrari itself, as well as the power unit, went in Barcelona? Well, fortunately for the team, they ran flawlessly through the field practically. Loads of mileage in terms of the engine itself. Ferrari just started their testing today, this Tuesday, with Charles Leclerc running in the morning and Lewis Hamilton taking control of duties this afternoon. And obviously, we have a limited amount of information regarding lap plans and lap times until the day is finished, and Formula One reveals it to all of us. So it's a case of waiting and discovering what the drivers and teams have to say. But anyway, I think this has been a very interesting day in terms of finding a very interesting piece of kit on the SF-26. Very much a novelty we've seen over many years, but it always has its uses. The final verdict is that Ferrari's aerodynamic trick on the SF-26 has been revealed. A bodywork slot behind the driver's head suggests an S-duct, an S-shaped air duct starting from the radiator inlets finishing at the slot. Charles's photo on social media today revealed everything. A zoomed angle showing the halo, engine cover, side pod, and barge board. An opening on the driver panel, Ferrari housing an S-duct, the entry point being the vane merging into the side pod. Under the Formula One nose, turbulent air from asphalt impact worsens efficiency. The S-duct sucks dirty air, reducing turbulence in the lower nose area. Expelled air above is cleaner, improving flow to the floor and underbody. The advantage is indirect, allowing the rest of the aerodynamics to work in better conditions. A complex, expensive solution typical of evolved cars. Air travels through the front wing along the nose, hits the inlet behind the vanes at the side pod, travels through tubes in the S-duct, exits at the IBM logo outlet. Twofold purpose: cleans flow on the lower side pod, increases air velocity on the upper side pod, directed all the way back to the diffuser, improving downforce in this critically important region to recover downforce lost from 2025's ground effect era. Introduced in 2012 by McLaren, rivals quickly jumped on the bandwagon. If not an S-duct, then for cooling purposes, it provides benefits either way. Ferrari implementing this solution means we should expect important aerodynamic developments, clear ideas on where and how to act for performance gains. Aerodynamics is the only aspect to develop extensively. Engines are frozen. In Barcelona, Ferrari ran flawlessly, accumulating loads of mileage with the engine performing reliably. Started testing Tuesday, Leclerc running in the morning, Hamilton taking over duties in the afternoon. Limited information on lap plans and times until the day concludes, waiting for what drivers and teams have to say about performance. An interesting day finding an interesting piece of kit on the SF-26, a technological novelty we've seen over the years that always has its uses. Whether it's actually an S-duct or cooling system, only time will tell. Can Ferrari gain an advantage with this aerodynamic solution? The answer might come very soon as testing continues.